Welcome to Back to the Topic, a podcast with
Gabriel Andreu,
Karen Turner,
Constantine Elijah. I'm just going to read Fred's statement. The exhibition that is opening on Thursday is Gross Profit by Fredrix Vermin, someone I studied with. The impact of homogenised global industry, increasing wealth gaps, corporal-owned freedom, oppressions as a norm, and the misrepresentation of fact in media seem all too familiar to us in this parallel world created by the artist. Small moments of joy can be found as well as major acts of rebellion, showing appreciation of protest and riot as a legitimate means for change. The work also demonstrates the immediate mundanity that can appear in these extreme scenarios. You still have to go to the shops, even if you are an international renowned political activist. Visitors will be confronted with advertising and ephemera placed in and around Cave and a series of models in the gallery that represent frozen moments in time. The show contains interactive elements to expand the narrative, so it is important to bring along headphones and a fully charged mobile device to get the full experience that this world has to offer. There is a film that normally plays, which I think shows adverts, which if you follow Fred on his Instagram, at Fredrix Vermin, be able to see all the adverts, and obviously the adverts are going to be playing here. We're sort of surrounded by
Hungarian Rhapsody.
This
Hungarian Rhapsody, yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I think Fred has, I don't know whether that's part of the show.
Is it
but
a monitor?
Fred
We're
has
probably going to
definitely,
show something.
sort of pimped up his Mac, his Apple Mac screen that he's playing the adverts on. Whether or not that has anything, you will have to ask Fred about that. Sort of more of an insight into what's going on. These models are sort of little scaled down models. I know that he's hand painted all the people. He's reflecting sort of things happening within worlds and what's been going on with gentrification and, you know, the changing sort of corporate world. It speaks a lot about the water company has bought up lots of different places, and it all feeds into farming and agriculture. To me, it's quite comedic. There's a lot of humour runs through this show, although it's talking about a topic that is really quite important and very, what am I trying to say, of the now. It's talking about life that's happening now and what has been happening, especially sort of during lockdown and our reliance on deliveries and food places and what's been happening in the world. But also it's got a great sense of humour through it. The adverts are hilarious. All of the stuff comes from recognised consumer products that we will all know. So what do we all think? I've given my insight. What do you think?
So what he said to you, that it's a critique about consumerism?
It is definitely a critique.
Capitalism,
you know, gentrification. All of the things also, you know, Fred's a London boy, you know, he's born and bred Lewisham, so he's seeing things within his own high street, within his own area, his own London, and changes.
Is he speaking about present or about the future?
It
I
feels
see the train
dystopian.
underneath the...
This comes from somewhere in
bridge,
Germany. Yeah. I asked him about this, and there's a place in Germany that has these trains, and the colours, the orange and blue...
Southwestern Railways.
Right, no. Well, he said that
blue and red, but yeah.
He said that this is a real thing, this above railway that happened somewhere in Germany. I'm not sure, I've forgotten
well,
where he
has
said.
Been exhibiting in
he's
Germany.
He's exhibited in, I know.
He has been there several times, so it's possible that, it looks quite German,
Yeah, and it is a real thing.
Like...
And the 10-foot, the flyover and bridge is real. And he uses it a lot in the advert. So all of these places, you've got the very trendy hipster place. You know, I was driving today down Battersea Park Road, and so many shops have shut down. Like a lot of the old shops that have been there for years, and you can see them, they're all a bit dusty. And then bang in the middle is this sort of trendy bar that is just still surviving, and it's still there, and it has its garden. And it sort of reminded me, this was today when we went shopping for the event.
You call it hipster because it's pink?
No, I think it's more the name, the place. The place. It's
Agree as well, yeah.
It's the place to be. Yeah.
I see it here as a humor, like the place, because almost every place has a name.
So it has a title.
Yeah, title. So the place.
That's
I
quite
see it in
clever.
the humor
It
way.
reminds me quite a lot.
Special place, the place.
The place. Well,
It's really this one. Eh? We are just looking at one
the
of
one sculpture.
One of the
at the moment.
sculptures. Do you call it a sculpture? Do you call it installation?
Ooh, interesting.
Because
To me, it's a model. A model is a sculpture.
as an architecture model.
Yeah. I see them as sculpture.
Don't touch.
Don't touch the sculpture.
Because you are the one that
that
touches
you can't touch
No,
the
I'm just
sculpture.
touching in case that you can move or no.
Yes, I can break something.
The little people, but no, you cannot move it.
Cannot
So
move
there
it.
is, it becomes, for me, it can be an installation, can be a sculpture. It's up to you, I mean.
It all lights up. We haven't got it lit up now.
I mean that it's so difficult sometimes to define what is art. Can be a sculpture, can be an
Well,
installation.
supposedly, if you put it in a gallery, it's art.
First of all, yes.
Yeah, no, I am not doubting that it's art for sure. I am just
Anything-
saying what can be an installation, can be a sculpture, and it's like just you define.
Anything you consider as art, it is. So
No, this is for sure art.
it reminds me, because we're all from the same art school. I was studying there. We had architects studying together. So I saw a lot of. It reminds me
create
very
models,
much. Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't call it a sculpture, but actually is. Street planning when they built that little copies of the
They're
real.
little miniatures.
Yeah.
Like a little miniature.
So it looks pretty much like that.
Yeah, it is.
Which
like
I suppose
that, yeah.
goes back to you saying it's an installation. It's been installed within here, but it is. But I see it as a sculpture.
I mean, I think that now seeing all
It's
the
an
gallery
installation.
around,
Installation.
everything together. And then each of the pieces is more a sculptural pieces.
you know,
because this
for-
is a sculpture too, the ones that we have on the walls. Then
The
we have
signs
then
as
we have
well.
posters. Yeah, the signs. These two signs are a sculpture. Then we have the posters, but then we have these kind of three models that are more architectural models, but are a sculpture.
When you look at them, all the lights light up, and inside all the little houses, something that an architect wouldn't do is put people making art.
No, they
inside
do.
there.
They
do. They go?
Yeah. My niece is an architect, so
to make
they
it
do.
more
They have to
realistic.
do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They have to do it.
Oh,
now.
that's
like,
interesting,
to
because
have-
I imagined an architect would build a model to show the building,
They need
not
to.
reflect what happens in the building,
They need-
because who knows what's going to happen.
They need
in
to
the
show
building.
how it would interact in real life. So
Exactly.
they need to build a
See,
realistic
to me, that
environment.
seems like a complete waste of time.
No,
because an
they need to
architect-
show it. It's like Greg is showing.
Fredrix Vermin. Fredrixvermin.com.
Here, the life. For example, we are like just focusing in this one that it reminds us
Well, it's a London street.
East European countries, no?
It looks very much British or London for me.
Well, for me it
To be
looks like
honest.
Peckham, but we were thinking that it's more like
Well, the fact that he's used
In Berlin, because
reference-
Except
Germany,
the train
because-
underneath the
Yeah.
bridge, it looks very much London for me. The houses look very much London. Or maybe
They are quite terraced little houses, the chimneys. Yeah, I don't remember seeing...
especially underneath the bridge, the houses looks very London way.
yeah, it's a satirical critique.
It's a satirical...
Satirical critique.
Yes, it's definitely...
Like it's like, well,
definitely.
it's how Fred
If you-
works in a way.
Of
His
course.
work is really satirical.
Yeah.
It's like
Always has been.
this kind of humor, but at the end, it's an activist.
Yeah. So are we disappointed that there's no penises?
I mean, for me, this urban environment were more closer to my interests. So.
Than penises.
No, I'm really happy
this
that
work
Fred
is-
has come back to sculpture.
Definitely, because he built things, didn't he?
Well,
When he was at uni?
during art, I studied with Fred.
Oh,
we were
yeah.
in the same
Year
year,
group.
and always I like a lot his sculpture. And then when we finish university, of course, it's, have different lives. To do a sculpture is difficult, is money, is space. And then it's like doing a massive sculpture, and if you don't show it, where do you put it? In your studio. But when your studio is full of sculptures, what do? You destroy it. Because you need more space to work.
Or in my case, put it into storage.
If you have a
If you
storage
have
in
storage,
London,
yeah.
you need to be happy and
You need to be rich.
wealthy to be, So I always remember that exhibition that we did in my land, that he did that massive sculpture. I love it. And then it's like, then he started to do pennies. A lot of pennies.
Lots of penises.
Penises. That they were nice, and I love it, but I miss that sculpture.
Yeah.
So coming back here, and seeing this solos of Fred, and seeing this sculpture again is like, oh yeah, you have come back to something that I really think that he is really talented.
Definitely.
In there.
Definitely. This is a project and a half. This is just, as far as Fred's concerned, this is just the beginning, and this is a space that he's using to experiment. This is an ongoing project. Videos are so clever, check out his Instagram account and his website. He's got this
At fredrix.vermin or fredrixvermin.com.
He's done this series of videos. He's talking about a newspaper to go with this world that he has created. He's the sculpture model behind you is
Idol, it's
idol.
like idol.
Idol. So he's
so
taken an idol is being laziness. To be idle is to be lazy.
And
But it's a take on Lidl.
Yeah.
And it's the supermarket.
the little supermarket.
Genius. It's so clever.
And you see the queue here, the little people of the queue
yeah.
is like 2 meters apart.
Of course they
So
are.
it's like,
This is all.
but they don't have a mask.
Fred is planning an interaction, so if you are going to come along to the show, bring a full charged phone and some headphones, because there's going to be, as you look into the sculptures, the installations, you can tap on a QR code that will take you to more information. The whole show is going to be quite interactive, closely. There's so much to see.
Do you know where did he find these kind of small figures?
I gave him some. They're for architects. They're little white figures, and they come all white. So he hand painted all of them. There's a lot of work gone into it.
It looks like.
But
you
they
can say
are.
that.
I had a whole bag of them that I was given, and I didn't really know what they were. But they're for looking at perspective and putting them in buildings and things for architecture students.
There are people inside
There's
this house.
an artist in the
Some
house.
naughty ones.
There's some naughty ones, yeah. But these all light up, which is going to be beautiful.
Whoa.
But I said to Fred, are you here? As in Fred. I said, have you said? And he said, I have got the artist house, but the artist is somewhere in here. And he said he didn't purposely do it to represent himself, but there is an artist living in one of the houses. And even all the things...
It looks very realistic, I would say, but
even like here on the little chimney, it says, don't smoke. Do you get what I mean? You got to just look so deep. And he said something, and I can't remember, but this...
the pink house.
On the pink, on the place, this... What does this say? Karoshi.
Karoshi, yeah.
Sushi bar.
And the sushi bar, but what did he say now that it means? He said, this is where all the corporates go.
It's true, it's like all the pubs now, they are becoming a bit the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I went to the bar on Friday, the pub, for first time in, well, I don't know.
In a year.
Either a year, it's possible. And now you have to download an app just to order.
Yeah, you do. You do have
And
to
then I
download an app to order a beer.
And I download the app to order. I ordered the first drinks. It was fine. And then the second time, my bank started to ask me, I don't know what, and I couldn't order. It's like, that's too complicated. I just want to drink.
Mind you, it is quite nice, you know, not having to queue at a bar thick with 5 people and waiting to move forward to get served. If the technology works, then it works really well, and you get your drink delivered, and it's sort of a bit civilised. So I sort of half like it, half don't. I've stood at bars before and been ignored.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
It's a very common thing for me.
Yeah. I've stood at bars before, and especially if I go
Everyone
out.
being served me.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you went to the bar, you know, and then you meet people in the bar, and it's
That's
like
true,
you
that's
start to talk with the people that you just waiting for the drink.
Probably
and,
you're supposed to stand away from
Yeah, but
other
you still-
households.
but you still.
Oh no,
talk,
we're talking
but you-
about before COVID.
Yeah, no, before COVID,
COVID,
exactly,
remember
before
that
COVID,
time?
like, you know, when you go to the bar and then you are waiting for the drink,
And you
and
could get up close to someone.
yeah, close to someone, and then you start to talk.
What are you talking about?
And it's like, come on, Constantine. Flirting a bit, or just talking with people. That now is like, no, you are in your table, and you just wait for your drink in
My
your
table,
table, and you don't socialize. And it's like,
Exactly.
God, I was thinking that, you know, it's like, if I have to go out and this technology,
Yeah, well, it's hard work.
I go into a third world country. I prefer, you know, it's like, give me
Go
these
somewhere
things.
else.
Like, this is becoming too civilized.
It is.
It's not about
I
that
think
actually.
also I don't like the.
The third world countries will use these COVID rules even more than here.
Of
I think.
course.
No, because they use cost, because they need, you know, the third world countries, they are
It's
not
a
costs
real
because they
tool
can't-
to regulate people to limit their freedom.
What do you mean?
For example, now, of course, I'm talking about Russia because I know everything about that. COVID rules. If you go to Russia, especially to Moscow, you wouldn't realize that there is something happening. Like
You wouldn't really.
Yeah, pandemic for them finished. But today, because some protests going around, suddenly, like, because of COVID, you are not allowed to go to protest because it's too.
But it's the protest, because I was listening yesterday in the radio, I think at BBC4, about Putin and about how, you know, has become this dictatorship.
Yeah, but how he is using. Russia is not the only country, I believe, who is using the COVID to limit the freedom.
No, of
Well,
course
I
no,
think-
that's for
And
sure.
just to say, I don't believe that is happening here in Britain. Like some people say.
No, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But it's totally different, the freedom that they give you here or no. Is related with the culture too, for example, and is related with capitalism too. That is related with threats here. For example, you don't have any theater open here since COVID happened. We cannot go to the theater here. In Spain, the theaters are open.
Well, they did open. Me and Jodie went to Sadler's Wells last.
They slowly start to open, I think.
October, November, when they open
But
for a
it was
bit.
socially distanced.
Exactly,
It
but-
was very strict, and it was amazing. We had a great time.
And they open on just for a bit and Sadler
Yeah,
Web.
just a little, very
But,
little.
I mean, in general, they are not open. In Spain, they are open. Why that? Because here they think that they need 80% of the people to go inside to
For
get
it to
some
be
money.
worth it.
Exactly, to be worth it. In Spain, it's more in a way, yeah, it's worth it for the. Can we pay the actors? Can we pay the director, the production, la. So then, if we can fit that, we do it.
Yeah.
But here, no. Here is more money. Has to be money. Has to be, you know.
Is it worth our while?
Exactly. Yeah, but it's about the money that is the income of the production. So actors, we are vocational. So, you know, we
Who
do.
says that?
Well, they say that.
Yeah, I was going to say, does an actor think that you know, to me, a vocational.
Vocational.
They do it.
Yeah.
They say.
They do it because well, they do it because they love it, but they still have to earn a fucking income. It's a bit like being a
Any
nurse
single workshop
or a
should do like
teacher
that.
is vocational, but they still have to earn an income.
Back to the topic, sponsored by Cave.
Back to the topic, sponsored by Cave.
Back to the topic, it's sponsored by
www.cavepimlico.co.uk.
So people presume that as artists and actors and all the rest of it, we'll do it for nothing because...
It's like you do it for CV sometimes, you do it for a lot of things, but the thing is, like, you need to work in a way. So,
Mind you, one thing I have noticed is, programs that are going out on the telly and things like that, they're getting a much better rate of celebrity because everyone is stuck. So you're getting more A-lister celebrities doing things now on telly and lives and things that they wouldn't bother doing. They wouldn't have touched it before. Do you get what I mean? They absolutely wouldn't have touched it before, but now they're just desperate to get out and do something. It is really hard.
They need attention. The celebrities.
that's a good point. Need attention. Another
Yeah,
point
see,
is
well, we
like
was talking about ego earlier, wasn't we?
ego too. But another thing is too that it's like we are like in a moment that it makes you think too what is worthy and what is not, and it's not all about money. Sometimes.
Artists also needs attention, probably, or maybe not. Like why we are making artworks.
Why we are making up our words?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
So who has the answer? Why are we making artworks? Why am
I know why.
Is it individual?
You know
you
why?
know why? I know why. But it's
Do you know why?
Everyone has a different purpose, I think.
So
But,
you start,
reason.
Constantine.
Why
you are making
I do
up?
need attention from people.
Yeah.
To be noticed, to be... I just need to be appreciated.
I don't have.
And that's how you
I don't
feel.
have TikTok.
I'm very much in TikTok too.
See, for me,
You are not
I'm
completely in TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm not completely into TikTok.
You know,
I'm just
some
halfway there.
very trendy stuff of TikTok, definitely.
All I watch is cats. I like cats and dancing videos. I love
The same, yeah.
dancing. There's lots of beautiful, beautiful young
But I'm
boys
following
dancing.
particular people, particular cats, depending
Particular
on...
cats.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that one too. So. But for me,
Back to the
make
topic.
it back to
Back
the topic.
to the topic.
And the topic was the question: why do we make art?
Do we need
For
attention?
me,
No, but
it's certainly not about attention.
so for you, one moment,
Okay.
it's about attention.
It's definitely about attention, but also it's because it must be interesting to myself to do stuff. About the moment when I'm involved in doing something or to experiencing life. That's probably because
So-
I'm more about spontaneous and about present person rather than planning. So for me, it is interesting to make it something or whatever I make, but it has to be appreciated afterwards. So it's both.
Yeah, but this is the second part. I understand you. The second part is appreciation or recognition that we say.
Yeah, recognition.
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 Got that
Okay, yeah.
word. Say it again.
Recognition.
Recognition.
Recognition. Yeah.
I understand the second part, and we will go there when it's my turn. But what is the first that it makes you to do art, to make art?
I cannot say right now, for example. When I started to study, I was applying for photography because I had like professional degree.
Experience and
No, I had degree, but it's like college degree of photography.
He's from Latvia, and
Yeah.
they all
Like,
do photography there. He
yeah.
told me. So
So I was applying for my university. Like I had a degree like between school, like college, probably,
Okay.
and before the university. So I was in photography, so in there, and I was applying for photography, fine art. And when I was applying for that, like, fine art thing, I just ignored it because I didn't understand completely what was fine art. Like, it suggests like photography degree. I'm fine with this. I went to the interview. I was accepted. So I started to study, and only after that I realized like fine art actually is about like art, contemporary art, like where mostly
You don't have
for
a
us.
translation in. For me, it's Bellas Artes, so it's totally we have a degree.
Firstly, like, definition of fine art in Latvia or in Russian, it would be different than we were studied.
How do you say in Latvian?
It's a good question.
Come on, Constantine. I just want to hear you.
You just want to hear him speak Latvian.
I
don't
love
you?
it.
My native language, my first language is Russian.
He doesn't care. Russian, Latvian. Just speak to him in your language.
Exactly. Speak to me in your
So,
language.
say fine art.
In Russian is высокое искусство.
That's nice.
Sounds nice, yeah.
I would translate it back to English like high art.
High art. Okay.
Yeah. That
It's
means
interesting.
high level of art, I would say that. Yeah.
For fine art and Bellas Artes is kind of the same.
Bias.
Bellas Artes.
See, for me, who naively went to art school thinking they were going to
The best artist went to naively without knowledge.
Yeah, naively went to art school thinking they were going to teach me to paint, and I'd done a foundation at Camberwell. And the first time I'd done a foundation at Camberwell thinking they were going to teach me to paint.
Doesn't matter when you do the foundation.
Whatever, yeah. I did, I had to. I'd left
They only
school with
stop you to do what you know how to do.
Yeah.
Forget about your skills. Do whatever else.
No skill. To me, fine art was like Rembrandt.
Mm-hmm.
I saw fine art as I saw, you know, the galleries down like
More
Marlborough
academical
fine art and these
view of it.
sort of historical art throughout history. I didn't think of fine art as contemporary, conceptual, or any of the things that I learned. So when I sort of knew I was studying fine art, it was a bit confusing to me. I found the word fine, I believed, and you know,
it sounds like
probably
excellent.
It sounds quite humorous, but I believe that was, you know,
This art is fine.
Titian and Rembrandt and these artists throughout history that created this fine art that hung in the National Gallery. You know, so the word, just the word itself, fine art, or the word fine with art, I was confused for a long
Our art
time.
is not fine.
Yeah. I found that whole description of what are you studying? I'm studying fine art. You know, I come from a very working class background. I came out of education quite young. I've learned through my work, you know, everything that I do, I've learned through doing it. We spoke about linguistics and language last week. You know, there's certain words that confuse my thinking. They think, you know, and that was one of the things that I especially remember when I started studying and fine art, and I was just like, oh, I don't want to study fine art. I'm not interested in fine art, you know, which in my mind was the sort of stuff that I'd grown up with going into the old galleries at the Tate, the National and things like that. So I considered fine art as being old art, historical art, and never considered it as contemporary or conceptual art. I was confused for quite a while within what I was studying. I thought they were going to teach me to paint, and they didn't. But going back to the topic,
I was more confused inside of the university
God,
than before
so
I
much.
go in.
But back,
Because
you know,
what I choose It wasn't
It
what
wasn't what you expected.
Yeah.
Well, going back to the topic,
I was confused to explain to my relatives what I was
What
studying,
you was doing,
to
exactly.
translate it into Russian
Really?
or
I
explain in
don't-
Latvian because
I don't have any problem with that because we have the same kind of degree and it's like the same kind of fine art. It's bellas artes that is fine art. So the translation is perfectly for me. For me, it was more what I choose to study and what they teach me.
what they teach you, yeah.
No,
So
because
things
I
that
went to London Met to study one title that was amazing. That was Time-Based Media Performance.
That's right, performance art.
Performance, Time-Based Media, video art, and was kind of like, wow, this is what I had been looking. I started fine art because I am an actor, but I gave up acting during 7 years. When I moved to England, as you know, well, I didn't speak in English. I needed to create. I am a creative person. So then, 2008, I was in Berlin. 2006 was in the moment when I moved. Yeah, I was in Berlin 2006, the first year I moved. And then I saw a Bill Viola piece in a museum. And I started to cry in the museum. Like, I couldn't hold. I just cry and cry and cry.
And what work was this?
I never remember the name, but it's one screen, vertical screen, and people is like approaching to the camera, and then they are saying goodbye to a person that has died. So it's the coffin there. You imagine the coffin. You just see the people approaching the person that is just lying and die, and they are saying goodbye to this person. It's so far emotional. So when I saw that piece, I said, I want to be a video artist.
Okay.
That was the moment that I decided to be a video artist. And then in 2000, this was 2007, 2009, I met my friends Iris, Carlo, and Margarita, and we became a collective, and we did video. And then I did my first video before the university. So I didn't do foundation. Because when I went there to present my project, they knew that I wanted to do video art. But then, I enrolled in those video, performance, and they didn't teach me anything. So for this, I changed to photography because it's like, why am I going to be here? He didn't teach me anything. Because in photography was Mick Williamson, and he was really good in teaching you technique.
Such a good.
Exactly.
Yeah. Big up Mick. He was all
Mick.
his students.
we miss you.
Yeah, I don't. He's retired now. I don't know a student that was studying. I didn't study photography.
I did.
But I did
First
have,
year.
I did have moments of.
Lisa was the technician that was like,
Lisa was We had some great tutors. There were some good tutors.
But for me, Joe Longers, that was in my last
she
year,
was,
she was the one, But the thing is, like, I went to the university because I needed to create. Now, after many years of being in this, I am looking for recognition, because if not, what is the point of doing art so many years?
Yeah, we was talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
So before you weren't looking for recognition,
No, I just was looking to create.
you were thinking
I wasn't-
how to
It's
earn
be-
that recognition.
No, it's because I wasn't doing acting, and I was working as a professional actor in Spain during 6 years before I moved to here, and then I fell in love.
But
and
in
I
some
stayed
ways,
here.
it's definitely not the same actor and artist. It's different things. But in some ways, it works in the same direction. Like, again, seeking for attention, or in a good way, asking for that.
Depends.
Well, it's deserved as well. I think we was talking about earlier when we work really hard.
You attract attention of other people.
No, I understand you what you mean, but as an actor now, I know that I am a puppet for the director. And in these directions that he give me, the director, I'm gonna enjoy and create my art. But always will be a collaborative project. It's the director, it's the producer, it's the screenwriter. So it's something made by a lot of people, okay? And I am one of the pieces that, as an artist,
So your fine art practice
my
is
fine
just
art
about you.
practice, no, it's not all about me, it's what I want to explain to you. As an actor, I'm gonna do, my last was a priest, and was a fascist priest. You know, my mom is not happy about it, but I enjoy a lot doing that. It's not me, not at all. You know, it's what I'm gonna choose to do in my art, not at all. But I really enjoy to do that for the director, for the scriptwriter, for everything. So, you know, it's a collaborative project. In my art, could be a collaborative project, and I like collaborative projects, but it's what I really need to put out, what I really need to express out. So it's about me creating something that I need to vomit. I need to express. Because if I don't express, it's in my brain going around and around and around.
To me, making art is intuitive. It's something that I've always done. We spoke last week about the fact that I considered myself an artist before I went to art school. It was, you know, I considered that. But because I've always intuitively been very creative. When I feel down, I use it, I suppose, as a form of counselling for myself. You know, I love going into my studio and just sticking paper on the wall and just painting. While doing that, I have no feelings about who's going to see it, about whether anyone's going to like it, about what it even is. You know, I don't.
So the
often
process.
It's not until that initial process of getting started can be me for an hour just really expressing myself. It's not until I stand back and then have a look at the mess I've made or whatever I've made, but I feel better, that then I'll start looking at it as thinking about colour, thinking about form, thinking about perspective, and then thinking about what will anyone else think. You know, my work tends
I
to...
don't think about what they are gonna think, but I want to feel.
Okay, what anyone's going to feel then.
Yeah, I mean, it's something...
You want to feel looking at your final result?
No, I want that the people feel. You know, I do art because I want to translate or to, translate something to someone. You know, it's like, I remember one day doing a talk as an actor for actors that they were starting to acting many years ago. Yeah. And in that moment I was quite down, so it wasn't the best talk of my life. But I just remember...
Was you giving the talk?
Yeah, I was giving the talk. And they were asking me, just want to act, and I just, can I do it just in front of my mirror for myself? And I was like, okay, well, if you want, you can do whatever you want in your life, but which is the point? Because you are doing acting because you want to convey something
to others.
You know, to give something to others. That is the point of acting. For me.
And is that the point? That's the point of art as
well.
Well,
yeah.
You as well.
You know, if I want to paint something for myself, fine, do it. But you do something because you want to give a message to people.
Yeah.
It's not going to write to anyone in the same way. Of course, no. Because this is the magic of art. For everyone is going to write
especially,
in
I
different.
think that fits well into this show, you know, because what this has done for me, this Gross Profit, this show of Fred's, is really made me think about the London that I live in and the fakery of it and how London just feels at the moment, especially after lockdown, that we're just being sold stuff left, right and centre that we don't really need. And sometimes that can be the same within the art world. The art world is massive and there's people churning out art, you know, and churning out art that doesn't really say anything. And I suppose for me, when I make art, it's about a process. But if I'm going to think about exhibiting art, that's when I start thinking about how it will speak to an audience.
It's what about, as I say, I have this week a career advice with this
Career
French
advice, yeah.
curator and artist.
Career advice.
And
that's
it's like, what do you want? Do you want decorative art?
Do you want
decorative?
Decorative, okay, yeah.
Or do you want to say something?
Do you want to say something? Yeah, but decorative art can say something.
Decorative art, like more commercial art.
What
'Cause
is
in my head is
considered, yeah, but
the art
you know,
we-
what is decorative art?
Like
What do you mean? What is decorative
I
art?
don't, you know, I bought a painting last week.
it actually just visual something which you would appreciate, but as I understand, but you wouldn't have any thought behind it or
Exactly. It is not any message.
But doesn't art have its own individual
Just something
narrative
beautiful.
for different people?
Attractive.
Of course
Karen.
it does.
There are. Look, we are seeing here in Fred's, okay, because we are in front of Fred's, and you have a lot of.
Well,
things
actually,
that they are-
it is really good question. Like speaking about the decorative, like black square or black rectangle.
Black rectangle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically, it's just some shape on canvas was painting, but actually, it is a huge meaning hidden there, and actually has a history and blah blah blah.
Well,
so it
but
actually has a meaning.
Well, of course, there are a lot of things that they have a meaning now. And if you want, you can have a meaning of this stool, this glass of wine, this, everything can have a meaning if you want. And I think that it's a lot of.
Well, is it if you want, or is it if someone's narrative fits that piece?
Is that meaning you put right now on something what was
As
made before?
individuals, we all see
Or that meaning you
art subjectively. We all see it. So decorative art, there's obvious. Decorative art is quite.
no decorative. It is something
Decorative's
like
a weird.
I would explain it.
What do you consider?
No, it's a weird word, but what I found
So
is
what do you consider as decorative art?
the thing is like what you see in a lot of art fairs, for example, it's like you see a lot of art that is easy to sell because it looks nice in your living room. But that doesn't mean that behind that art has a concept, has a statement, has a research. And you can see in Fred here, has a statement, has a research, and has a concept. All of this is here behind of that.
But you wouldn't have it in your living room.
Wow, why not?
But in general,
Why not?
In general, you
Well,
wouldn't have it in
This
your
is
living room.
depends of who you
Depends
have.
on the size of
exactly.
your
For
living
this
room.
decorative art, it's easy to sell. It's possible for the people that they don't know so much about art, but that is bullshit because you can sell things with concept with people that they don't know how much about art either. So,
Well, an example would be, last week I bought a painting, and I bought the painting, although I knew the concept and the story throughout all of the series of paintings, I bought the painting because it had its own, when I looked at it visually, firstly, the one thing that I'm drawn to is a colour palette. I can't help it. Do you get what I mean? There's a colour palette. So I was drawn to the colour, but the contents of the painting and collage gave me a narrative of something that is happening in my own life. It
So you've
wasn't
got
the same
personal-
narrative as what the artist painted it with.
yeah.
So, but it's decorative, it's beautiful, it looks amazing in my living room. So it is decorative, but it's
Is it decorative for you?
It's decorative for me, but I think it was also...
But you have personal attachment to that.
I've made my own narrative towards the painting. Even though I know the artist, I know that, even down to the fact
But
that
this is the thing.
she was painting foxes and I see a cat. And now that it is hanging in my living room, it is a cat.
It's not fox.
It's not in my living room.
What I told you last
While
week.
it was in the
what I told
gallery-
you last week, Karen, that's a cat.
I see a cat.
And you say, the artist says.
The artist says it's a fox. But now it is...
No, but this is a really nice
Of course.
conversation. It's what you see,
So,
what you
but
don't
then,
see.
to be honest, to me, it's decorative within my home and within, even though I have created a narrative within the work, and that's why I bought it. I don't buy a lot, especially big artworks, you know, I can't afford it. So it's the most decorative painting within my flat. But I know that Emma, the artist story, she didn't consider it as decorative when she painted it. She considered it as part of a narrative of a concept that she had to make an exhibition and an artwork. So when does artworks become decorative?
Okay, we continue.
Right,
Yeah.
we're good.
And have a club. Yeah, and so second rise.
Decorative art. We're going back to it. Oh, I'm okay. Wear your mask, bring your mask, come to cave, meet us all,